It was a tough night for us offensively. I mean, we couldn't buy a basket, whether it was from the field or from the free throw line there for a while. And, Clemson's a really good defensive team. They changed a lot of the way they've played on film, from a team that's picking you up full court 9 a whole lot. They didn't necessarily deny. They really gapped, and they made it hard on our guards. And, you take your hat off to them. But I thought our guys battled as hard as they could on the defensive end. It was just a muddy game that we couldn't end up, being better than them the last 4 minutes.
Chris, you talked about how they changed what they did defensively. Are those the kinds of things that players themselves kind of have to react to on the floor, or could you make adjustments at halftime? Because, as you said, they played differently than they had been playing.
Yeah, I mean, we felt like at halftime, Bob, there were a lot of things that we could have done better, from making our free throws to finishing through contact underneath. I thought we got a few offensive rebounds, a few plays around the basket that we came up empty on. And so, I can't fault our effort if we're getting the ball in the paint. In the second half, didn't feel like we got it there as much. And, Clemson was a team that really gapped us tonight, especially off David and Carley. And, I got to do a better job of putting some other guys in different positions and running some stuff. Thought we were going to have a bye week this week and could put some things in. But, be that as it may, we didn't. And, I thought Clemson, really made it tough on us to get in the lane, and we couldn't hit any shots.
You played a lot of guys early. Was that deliberately because you know how they normally may go 10, 11, 12 deep, try and keep fresh legs? What were you thinking about there?
I just want to play more guys. I feel like, our team needs some help off the bench. We need some guys to step up and come in, and I want to get Charles more acclimated to getting off his injury so that he can start to help us be a better team on both ends of the floor. I don't want, Carley and David to be playing 40 minutes every night. And, that was the reason. JJ went in. I thought he played exceptionally well in the first half. And so, that's why we end up playing some more guys.
In a kind of a summary, do you think you played defense pretty well and pretty hard most of the game. Do you think you played defense well enough to win a game like this? I mean, it was pretty good defense, wasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, there were a couple possessions you'd like to have at the very end. They come out and out of the timeout and they duck in Sims and Jalen got caught napping a little bit. But, he was, for the most part, he and JJ did a terrific job on an all-conference type player. He's their senior. He's a guy that's played a ton of ACC games, and they went to him and he got an and one, and that was, I think it went from 4 to 7. So that was a tough one right there. But, outside of, maybe a few plays down the stretch, Bob, I thought our guys played as hard as they could on the defense. And we didn't let the offensive woes affect our defensive intensity, our communication, our attention to detail. And it's why you want a little bit more for them on the offensive end to come away with a win.
Nobody's offering, excuses, but how difficult was it to do it as a one-day down and back thing? I mean, I don't know, have you done that before this year, or how challenging is that?
No, I mean, it's it's something that we opted to do. We've won games before doing it. We've lost games before doing it. So I'm not going to make any big deal about the travel.
All right, Chris, thank you.
Take questions now from the media. Anyone, please? We'll start with Shannon and go to Kent.
Hey, Coach, you might have already talked about this at the very beginning. I missed the first couple of questions, but why do you think Carley struggled so much tonight? Was it their defense, or was it just his shot not being quite on as it normally is?
They made it difficult on him. I mean, Clemson at one point a couple weeks ago was the number 1 defensive team in the country, and they didn't do that by luck. So they really keyed in on him. They had guys in the lane when he got the ball there, and they bodied him and rode him and, put hands on him, and he's got to be able to play through contact. But, you give Clemson a lot of credit, Shannon. They had a plan, and they executed that plan defensively.
And did you feel like that was similar with David? I mean, he had quite a few turnovers tonight and fewer points.
Yeah, I mean, they were trying to do that with both guys. I thought David played for the first time in a while, really sped up. And, just as evidenced by a few of the turnovers that were unforced, just on a catch. Some of the things he did last year as a freshman, he sort of reverted to tonight. But got confidence in Dave that that'll be a one-game thing, and he'll turn around. He's a terrific player, but he certainly wasn't at his best tonight.
Kent?
Yeah, Chris, when it comes to kind of shooting woes, so to speak, you were a player and now as a coach, can that become contagious on a team during a game when a couple guys start missing, it just kind of starts spreading?
Well, it did tonight. We've got to be able to combat that with a couple things. Our defensive effort has to be greater, and it was. And I'm proud of our young team for being able to gut it out and not feel sorry for themselves when the ball doesn't go in. And then we just got to continue to take good shots. I think that the first half I don't think we earned a ton of good looks, but in the second half I thought we got some good looks and didn't knock down. But we got to be able to get some offensive rebounds, Kent, and finish around the basket when it won't go in from three or won't go in from the free throw line. We just have to be able to manufacture points in a muddy game, and that's what Clemson did. And that's what you have to do when you get involved, in games like this.
Michael?
Hey, Chris, you mentioned a muddy game. With some of the young players on your team, do you get a sense that when they're struggling offensively, that they might kind of get out of what you're expecting from them offensively, that they kind of start doing their own thing out there?
I don't think we had anybody, doing their own thing. I thought we had some guys trying to make some plays. We got knocked around, in the first half around the basket and couldn't finish through contact. Second half just seemed like there was a lid on the basket, and not only from the field but from the free throw line. You're gonna have games like that. We just had to figure out a way to get a couple more around the basket to go in and stop them from scoring down the stretch like they did.
Any final questions for Coach? Yes, Matt.
Hey, Coach, this is Matt McGavick with Sports Illustrated. You mentioned that you were a lot more pleased with the effort in this game, but what is your message to the team knowing that the effort was much better than it has been in games past, but they're just not connecting on shots?
Just that. You're going to have games like this. You're going to have games where the ball doesn't go in the basket. Didn't hang our head. We continued to play. And the thing about this league is you always have opportunities that, come up, and I got to put those guys in better position. So their offense is a little bit easier for them. But, give Clemson a lot of credit. Like I said, they're number one defense in the country for a reason. I know they haven't played well as of late, but I thought defensively they really made it hard on David and Carley tonight. And, we didn't help ourselves by knocking a few open shots down.
Coach, thank you for joining us. Everyone, as I'd mentioned prior to the game, we're in a tight travel situation afterwards, and that'll do it for us here from Clemson tonight. Thank you for joining us. Bye.